going the wrong way.
It's our time to shoot the stars. We ain't gonna stop till the world is ours. This landslide, rocks below, ready to rise, ready to roll.
What's going on, everybody? EGR here. Welcome back to the channel. Today's episode of the 2019 ZX10R customer bike build, I'm going to go over some of the things that we've done to the bike since the last video that I did off camera, as well as I'm going to take the bike for a ride and get some more GPS data and possibly line up with that BMW and ZX10 again to see how it compares after the recent mods. Well, as you guys saw in the last video, we did the full titanium Acra system and the carbon bracket. We eliminated both of the passenger pegs. The bike's been lowered 2 inches. A GPR stabilizer's been added. This is a zero gravity Corsa windscreen. It's very dull from the factory. That's just kind of how these things come. I have these cut and polished along with the rest of the paint when I have them do the ceramic coating, and they clean right up. We added some Light-Tech mirror block-offs, and as you can see, there's no mirrors on the bike right now. This is the Vortex gas cap that I put on the Bitch Ninja as well. We're still waiting on the seat cowl in gray, obviously. That just hasn't come in yet. There's also an EarthX battery I did under here. The servo system's all gone. I eliminated some of the emissions already because they were kind of in the way. Starting from left to right, we've got the charcoal canister and the purge valve. That's all this stuff right here. Pretty much all know what a charcoal canister does. This is the flapper and the flapper motor. This is the screen and the front inlet there. We took the horn out because the horn was eventually coming out of this bike for weight reduction purposes, but it was in the way this time around, so I decided to just take it out now. And these are some of the hoses, and this is the bracket that holds the charcoal canister in. But all that's been removed out of the bike since the last episode as well. As you can see, a little more free-flowing air through the inlet. We did add a P08 F185 filter off camera as well. One over here, they're harder to see, but we did add the Brock's brackets and lowering link, as well as a Brock's kickstand. Altogether, since the last video, I was doing some racing in it. The bike's about 20 to 22 pounds lighter or so in that area between the full exhaust, the battery, the emissions removal, the mirror removal, stuff like that. So it's gotten a little bit lighter as well as making a good amount more power, so she should roll out pretty good right now. I'm really looking forward to the fact that I got a stabilizer on it now so I don't die. This is what I would call sort of a stage 1 package that I would set up a bike for, a straight line. It's a 2-inch drop, a pipe, a filter, and a tune with a strap, and some basic weight reduction. There's not a lot going on here. This is up to you guys if you wanted to pull this stuff out in quote-unquote a stage 1 package. I just took it out because it was kind of in my way at the time. But for the most part, this is a very basic straight line setup that still handles and turns fantastic in my opinion. These things, personally, I think, should be lowered at least an inch from the factory from where they are. They're just too high up. I understand, you know, they're kind of built around road racing and stuff like that, but the average guy who buys these things is going to have a harder time trying to keep the wheel down than they have a good chance of actually using all of the lean angle these bikes come with from the factory. So that's up to you guys how far you want to go with it, but this bike handles great and rides fantastic, so there's nothing wrong with what I've done here in terms of losing any kind of rideability. The Bitch Ninja's lost a little bit of rideability in terms of cornering, but it still rides fantastic, and that bike slammed compared to this one. But alright, enough rambling about what I've done to the bike. Now we're going to go jump on the bike, and we're going to see how she runs 60 to 130, and if I can get some higher numbers, great, depending on traffic and stuff like that, but we'll see how she goes. Right now, it's a stock chain and sprockets, and all 3 brakes are still on the bike, so it's just a basic 2-inch drop and basic bolt-ons with a tune. So let's see how she goes when I get out there.
Alright, so now that I'm on the bike, I want you guys to start guessing now in the comments below, what's this thing gonna do 60 to 130? Last time out with just a tune, she was running, I would say averaging 4.3 to 4.4, 60 to 130. And it had the fastest pass was 420. One thing to note too is it's running a little more fuel in it than it was the last time I dragged it. I'd say probably close to 2 gallons more fuel. I wasn't going to pull fuel out to try and, you know, equalize it. So call it the bike being about 10 pounds or so lighter than rather than like 22 or so. I'm curious to see if I can get this bike to go into the 3s, leaving out of 2nd gear right now. That'll be an accomplishment in my book. My goal is to beat 412, 60 to 130. That's what I did on Warren's bike with the exact same setup as you see here. So, and I left out of 2nd gear on his bike as well. So we're going to compare and see. This will be the first test to see how it compares to the 16 to 18 bikes. My ultimate goal is to make it faster than my personal bike, the Bitch Ninja. But we've got some work to do to catch up to that bike, because that bike is extremely max effort compared to this one. So that is not a good apples to apples test to compare them. That being said, if this bike goes anywhere near as fast as that bike, the way it sits, then obviously the 19s are a faster bike, no question there. Alright, well, I'll catch back up with you guys when I'm at the spot. Alright, let's get a test pass in and see how she's doing. Alright, 401, first pass. Second pass, 379. Jesus Christ. Holy shit, what the This guy's going the wrong way. Holy shit! That could have been ugly. That could have been ugly really fast. Well, at least that'll take the tension off me. 397 uphill. All right. Felt pretty good. All right, so we just got done making all the pulls, and it does look like it's a good amount quicker. The problem right now is that it's way too windy out to really get some real GPS data. I'm getting hit with gusts of wind left and right, front to back, so it's hard to really say what this thing truly does GPS 60 to 130 right now, because it's all over the place. The slowest pull we made was 401, and the fastest pull we made was 379, all starting out of second gear. It had several 3.9s, a 1379, and I think 2 4.0s. So it's definitely faster, and I technically did accomplish the goal of being faster than the pull I made with Warren's bike in comparable trim. He went, I on that bike went 412, and my slowest, like I said, was 401 on this. So it does look like this bike is so far faster than the 16 to 18 bike, but we're not there yet. Again, the ultimate goal is to make the bike faster than the Bitch Ninja. We're gonna have the budget to do so, so I'm hoping that we can get it done, mainly because I hope that this bike makes a little more power and is actually a little faster. I haven't quite decided yet if I'm gonna be happy it's faster or mad that it's faster. I'm gonna be happy it's faster, because that means I can go faster with a stock motor. Meaning, I would try and find a motor out of one of these bikes, maybe a crashed bike or something like that, or one that rolled off the kickstand and cracked the frame. But on the downside, I'll be mad that it's faster, because Now I have to spend money to make mine faster, and I know me, I won't build the motor in my bike. I won't do anything with that. I would try and source one of these motors, and that's the route I would go. The good side of doing that though is I'll have a spare motor, and it's real nice to have two motors at all times if you plan on doing any kind of motor work or anything like that, if I were to go that path. I won't be able to line up with Juan on the BMW for this video, unfortunately, but I think we all kind of know how it's going to go though. This bike should probably beat him fairly decently now. I had that one good pull, or one clean pull, where I was able to keep him close by and then work him up top. And the thing is this bike seems like it's about 0.4 of a second faster on average, 60 to 130. Well, the thing is, 60 to 130 is one of the hardest things to actually reduce times on. It's easy in the early stages of what I'm doing, because these bikes just get so much faster with little things. But where this thing really is going to show the horsepower and stuff increase is the 130 to 190 times. That likely decreased quite a bit with this exhaust system and lowering the bike a little bit. I still haven't done the airbox mod yet to this bike, so that's coming. On my personal bike, 60 to 130 didn't change at all with that mod, but the 130 to 180 times decreased a full second. So I think from here on out, I'm going to have to start getting some higher mile-an-hour data to really start comparing where we go with this bike. The problem with that is it's really hard to do at this point of the year, because I have to do it later in the evening when the roads are clearer. I have one good spot that's relatively flat, and I can wind the bikes all the way out to very high speed and not have to worry about coming into any traffic or anything like that. It's a pretty safe spot to do it. So I think the next step with this bike is going to be switching over to the Dunlop tires I have at the garage right now, removing the rear brake, lowering the fender, and lowering the bike another ½ inch, also doing the airbox mod and removing any remaining emissions in the bike. Still going to be 2 front rotors, and still going to be on the stock sprockets and chain. The only reason we haven't changed those yet is because we're putting a swing arm on it, and we have to figure out what we're going to be doing for sprockets, what we're going to be doing for transmission, because whatever transmission we go with is going to determine what rear sprocket we go with for what distance. If we go with the Gen 4 transmission, it's going to take a bigger sprocket in the rear to do the same top speed. So we'll see how things go. But yeah, alright guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap this video up. You know what to do. Like it if you liked it, thumbs down if you hated it, subscribe if you haven't, and if you already have subscribed, make sure you hit the bell icon so you get notified of more videos like this. Alright guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.